Solana is more of an investment. It's a larger cap token. It takes more to move it.
Mm.
And it's less driven by crazy punters who are the degens who are looking for the next, thing that goes up 50% in a couple of days. So I just think it's a different bunch of participants, really. Because I think I answered your survey as well, and I answered Solana. And I'm long Solana. And I think really the bigger tokens are going to be driven by money coming into the space overall. And then we had the regulatory issues where, people are concerned. What does it mean? Solana and some of the others still have overhangs from FTX days and other stuff, while stuff like Neo doesn't have it. So it's part of that. And a lot of the time I just tell people it's all noise.
So,
I think you drive yourself crazy looking for the next big thing when in front of your eyes, over time, if I look at my screen, Bitcoin's up 82% this year, ETH's up 57%, and Solana's up 70%. I mean, that's pretty decent.
Today's Bitcoin price is up, reaching 2023 high of $31,431. The new BTC price year-to-date high comes amid increased institutional interest in Bitcoin from companies such as BlackRock and Fidelity Investments, both of which have applied for a spot Bitcoin ETF in the last 2 weeks. The negative news of the SEC cracking down on Binance and Coinbase appears to have been offset by institutional interest, as optimistic traders continue to outnumber BTC shorts. Hello and welcome to Money Talks. In today's video, Raoul Pal gives his outlook on Bitcoin after the massive gain, as well as whether now is the best moment to acquire more Bitcoin or not. So without further ado, let's get started with the video.
So my thesis has been always based on the liquidity cycle and macro. And the liquidity cycle for me bottomed in June last year, which is when ETH bottomed. And then the confirmations came from other liquidity cycles that I used that bottomed in October, November. So I think liquidity rises from now on, and people just want a little bit more macro certainty. The Fed, we're stopping. No, we're not stopping. We're kind of stopping. Maybe we're not. Doesn't help people. But I think capital is soon to come. I think the BlackRock ETF is another way of bringing fresh capital into the space. And so that's the real issue. It's a dead market right now. And it's just us lot moving money around. And until you bring in new people. Now, I have a different view on the US regulations. I kind of don't care. You're in South Africa. I'm in the Cayman Islands. It makes no difference to us. I mean, zero. Yeah, it's not a great look, but, having been in this since 2013, I've gone through this so many times. And everybody feels miserable. I can't believe people still feel miserable now, and the space is up 80% this year. And everyone's still like, oh, it's the end of the world. Nobody loves us. Everybody hates us. Everybody on crypto Twitter's turning on each other, trying to destroy each other. I mean, it's madness. And it's actually boredom that does it while waiting for the cycle to turn. The US stuff, I just think it's noise over time. There will be a regulatory outcome. And I talked about this, I think about maybe a year and a half ago on your show, is these professional negotiators like Genza. Genza has the political side, but he's also a negotiator here for where this space is going to get regulated. He's going to start with no, 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 I hate you all. And we're all going to go, we want total freedom to do anything we want. And the answer will be somewhere in the middle. And it depends which side of the middle we go.
Bitcoin price started to rally after BlackRock filed for a spot BTC ETF in the United States on June 15th. While BlackRock is not the first to apply with the SEC for a Bitcoin ETF, they are the largest of all current applicants. To date, the SEC has refused to approve a spot Bitcoin ETF, despite numerous applicants including Cathie Wood's ARK, and 21 Shares, which has filed for approval 3 times. Another company that was denied a Bitcoin ETF is Grayscale. After the rejection, the company took the SEC to the appeals court to argue for the soundness of Bitcoin futures. BlackRock is the world's largest asset manager with over $8.5 trillion in assets under management. The firm will also utilize Coinbase to custody the BTC in the trust, according to the filing with the SEC. The application has also provided a boost to the Grayscale ETF, and the discount is approaching 2023 highs under 35%. Another financial services giant, Deutsche Bank, applied for a digital asset custody license in Germany in addition to Valkyrie applying for a BTC spot ETF and a Bitcoin miner ETF.
My guess is Congress resolves this first. It's becoming a political issue, and Gensler is under pressure. I think that's why he's approved the BlackRock ETF. We assume he's approved it, which is why everybody's filing, because he's going to say, well, look, Bitcoin, I'm going to throw them a bone and I'm going to give them a Bitcoin ETF, and that'll shut them up, because he's under a lot of political pressure now. And so I don't think they want the massive political pressure going into the election. So that's what I think is going on. And I think Congress are going to try and force some sort of ruling. If not, we've got Brad Garlinghouse's case for Ripple that still has to go through. I think there's a decent chance that they will get some more positive outcome. And Coinbase are going to go to, if Congress doesn't change anything, they're going to fight to the bitter end. So that means if you're right and it's a 5-year thing, well, Coinbase are going to list Solana for 5 years or these other tokens. I think it was a strategic move by Gensler. I think he, as I said, is under political pressure, and he needs to throw a bone to Congress and everybody else to say, I'm not just being objectionable. You know, I am going to allow innovation, but only Bitcoin and only with a massive financial institution. So he's throwing Wall Street a bone, which is this point you're raising about where Larry Fink is in the pecking order. He's throwing Wall Street a bone, and he's politically trying to cover his arse. So, yes, I think there's been a secret nod, which is, Larry, if you want to do this, we'd support it. And I'm guessing that a few others have been given the nod, and it's very difficult then not to allow the other Bitcoin ETFs. So net, it's a positive thing.
In early June 2023, short sellers were liquidated at a lower rate than longs. The BlackRock ETF filing announcement on June 15th has shifted fortunes away from short sellers, with over $220 million in shorts liquidated since that date. In the past 24 hours alone, over $31 million BTC shorts have been liquidated. Despite the short seller losing streak, it seems that this investor group is doubling down. On June 23rd, 53% of options were skewed short, which could potentially create an opportunity for a short squeeze and greater Bitcoin price upside. Another positive sign for Bitcoin price is the cooling US dollar index, DXY. Historically, when the DXY index retracts, sentiment for risk assets like Bitcoin increases.
Gold did so well. Yes, it did. The reason gold did so well back in when that ETF was launched was the dollar was collapsing.
Okay,
the gold is kind of inverse of the dollar. So yes, therefore the market will obviously invest in a product like that. So it's really a matter of price. Institutions, RAAs, investment advisors won't buy it if the price is not good. It's not like, oh my God, we can now buy Bitcoin. But if the price is going up like it is now, yes, it'll bring much more capital into the space. So all of these guys are sheep. Pretty much everybody in the financial markets are sheep. They're all momentum traders. So if we've got momentum, if the dollar is weakening a bit, and if the BlackRock ETF then comes out, yeah, that's going to attract a lot of capital. If it was 3 months ago and they launched it, it would have attracted nothing. Because, you've seen that with GBTC. The discount is a function of the lack of flows coming into that. And it's just been widening and widening and widening because there's no flow coming into it.
Since interest rate increases were paused by the Federal Reserve last week, some market participants think that the U.S. economy may grow and the dollar could continue to cool. If this happens, Bitcoin could continue to rally alongside equities markets. The better the macro climate, the better for Bitcoin price. Typically, there is a close correlation between Bitcoin and equity indices like the S&P 500. After interest rate increases were paused by the Federal Reserve on June 14th, equities saw a large bounce while Bitcoin price retracted. Now it seems like the current Bitcoin rally is allowing the BTC price to catch up. While Bitcoin price is showing some bullish momentum in the short term after the BlackRock news and cooling dollar, the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index has reached a 3-month high.
Well, as long as the ETF doesn't trade like a closed-end fund, you're okay. Because it's the discounts and premiums to NAV that's the real problem for people. And also, an ETF, for most people, is more like an equity, while GBTC is more like a fund.
Okay.
So they just want to see whatever it is on their screen, trade it as a normal stock. People are lazy. I mean, people just generally are lazy, and people will generally follow momentum. So if you make it easy and momentum's rising, it's going to work without question. And BlackRock have the Aladdin system, which is, their kind of major system for all of the products and everything else. That is used by a lot of RIAs, a lot of capital allocators. So once you've got the product on that, okay, that's pretty useful for people as well. So we will see, it's just the access that I can do it via BlackRock. It means it's sanctioned by the state and everything's okay. I mean, that takes a lot of uncertainty out of Bitcoin, right?
So, what's your price prediction for Bitcoin at the end of 2023? Tell us in the comments. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you soon with the next video. Thank you so much for watching.